Hi there, it's Mark Stables from Cambridge Centre Honda, and I'm here today to talk to you about Honda's HR-V, which is the entry-level, smallest SUV in Honda's lineup. Yeah, you're correct. It's not as well known as obviously the Honda Civic has been around for 50 plus years in Canada. The CR-V has been around for almost 30, and those are our two best-selling vehicles and most popular vehicles. But the HR-V fills in a great slot because it is a little bigger than a Civic, a little smaller than a CR-V. It has the advantages of an SUV, meaning that you have the higher ride height, which a lot of people like, especially if they're not so young anymore. And yet it is it's a subcompact category, so it's going to be easier to fit in the garage, easier to park again in the garage or to drive around town, parallel park type of thing. It's built on the Civic platform, so if you're familiar with the Honda Civic, you would feel right at home in the HR-V. Just sits up a little bit higher, but essentially has very much of the same running gear and very similar interior. It does have 3 of the 4 HR-V models are available with all-wheel drive, which you cannot get in the Civic, which is obviously an advantage here in Canada. You might ask what's the difference between the HR-V and the CR-V, which is a valid question, and I would say that it's a smaller size. So for people that don't want to go to although the CR-V is considered a compact, it's really big. A lot of people think of it more like a mid-size, and as it has grown over the years, the HR-V today is virtually the same size of the first generation CR-V way back in the 90s. So it fits that slot below CR-Vs cost-wise and size-wise for people that just don't need that extra size and are looking to spend a little bit less money. So the HR-V has the same 2-liter engine as what's in the Honda Civic, and it is available. The entry-level LX model can be had in a 2-wheel drive, and all the other 3 higher trim levels are going to be all-wheel drive. So there's the LX all-wheel drive, the Sport, and the EXL. If you want kind of entry level, the LX 2-wheel drive or all-wheel drive they still give you the basics, but these days everything we sell has all of the safety features. We call it Honda Sensing. So that is your adaptive cruise control, your lane centering, as well as your collision mitigation braking. All models have that. All models have the blind spot indicator in both outside mirrors, obviously backup cameras, and the entry level LX 2-wheel drive, LX all-wheel drive will be cloth seats. If you go up to the Sport, still cloth seats, but you get some upgrades such as a heated leather-wrapped steering wheel. You will get a power sunroof, slightly different wheels. And then if you want luxury, the top-of-the-line EXL will give you leather seats, will give you parking sensors, will also have the wireless connectivity and wireless charging for your either your iPhone or your Android device. So there's probably 2. I would think that it would be mostly sold to either younger single people who don't really need a massive vehicle. They may not have, yes, you can put car seats in the back of it, but it is a subcompact. So it's a little smaller back there than what the CR-V would be or any of our large SUVs. So typically it would be the younger single people or maybe young couples that either don't have kids or maybe just have one, and active people, because if you drop the back seats down, it is massive back there. It is very surprising how much space there is. If you've got your snowboards, if you've got your outdoor, hiking, anything like that type of equipment, it'll hold a lot of stuff, camping gear, etc. Then the other demographic is quite often for the older client who is downsizing. They might have had an Odyssey at one time, they might have had a CR-V at one time, and they don't have the need for such a large vehicle, but yet they don't want to go back to sitting low in a Civic sedan or an Accord sedan. So typically once people go up to have that higher ride height of an SUV, they almost never go back down to a sedan type of thing. So yeah, seniors love it because it is smaller, it's easier to drive around town, easier to park, and it still is very roomy, but you have good road visibility because of the ride height. We're now inside of the HR-V, and I wanted to show you some of the great features that are on this vehicle. We are in the EXL with navigation, so this is the top of the line vehicle. Right here we've got the 9-inch center screen, and it is the larger display as opposed to the 7-inch that you would get on the lower models. And this also has a wireless charging pad here on the center head of the transmission, and it would have wireless connectivity. So you've got wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Really nice to have, where when you sync your phone once, you're done. Every time you get in the phone after that, it'll automatically pick up your phone. Exterior wise, can't see it from in here, but we do have the parking sensors on this because this is the EXL Navi model. And I do have, if I take the Apple CarPlay away and I hit this button right here for navigation, I've got an embedded navigation system that's built into the car. So let's just say you travel to the US, you don't want to pay for roaming costs, then you can just revert back to the navigation that does come. And it's a Garmin-based system, so it's still a good system. But if you're used to your Apple Maps or your Google Maps, then and you're in Canada, you can just use your own phone's navigation app. On the mid-trim level, the one down from this, which is the Sport, you would still get the power sunroof. You would still get the heated leather-wrapped steering wheel, and the dash essentially looks the same, other than just a slightly smaller screen. So great interior, very comfortable interior. You have a couple USB ports down here, which are nice, as well as the one up front for the driver. And again, dual zone climate control in this model. All HRVs have the full LED lighting, very bright, the brilliant white lights and fully automatic lights as well. So to sum it up, I would say that the HRV would be a great vehicle for people to consider if they perhaps have driven and enjoyed Honda Civics for many years, which a lot of people have, and yet they're just looking for something that's going to be a little more spacious. It has the hatchback for versatility, and 3 of the 4 models have all-wheel drive. And of course, the vehicle does sit up a little bit higher, so your ride height is higher and your command view of the road is a little bit better. And we have a lot of boomers and a lot of people in our population that they no longer are super comfortable getting in and out of low to the ground sedans, and they would find it very easy to just kind of get in this vehicle, in and out easily. Has a huge back seat, has still a good amount of cargo space, so it really gives people everything they've always liked about a Honda Civic, but in a taller vehicle with the option of having the all-wheel drive, so it would be awesome for winter driving. So we would be very happy here at Cambridge Centre Honda to show you an HRV. Feel free to give us a call or email, or just pop in and have a look at the HRV. It's definitely a vehicle worth considering.